This is your weekend market review for Friday, March 7th, 2025. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at ADBE Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market review for Friday, March 7th, 2025. Hopefully you had a good week. The volatility definitely looks like it's peaking out near term. We'll see what happens. Next week is a low data week other than CPI, PPI. It's expected to come in, as we've talked about, commodities, the market. A lot of things have been going on that have softened, which to me will show that there'll be weaker inflation. How will the market react? Remember, we have the Fed meeting and quad witching OPEX the following week. So I look at next week as a counter trend bounce of a downtrend that might be bigger. Again, we'll have to see what happens with the tariffs and everything that's going on. But again, I'm expecting a counter trend bounce. Maybe it's 10 days, depending on trading days wise, to kill out some of the VIX. Again, the puts, the amount of puts that were bought on the market over the last couple days is some of the highest we've ever seen. We know the market's meant to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. That's going to be hard for them to really get paid out, in my opinion. I think the market makers and those that be, again, if you read my notes, we talk about how the market loves to manipulate the headlines. I think that's the game they're going to try to play to wipe out some of those puts. So again, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. Also, one of the things that I think nobody's really talking about as we go into the Fed meeting, SPR, Strategic Petroleum Reserve, needs to be fulfilled, and it's quietly being done, in my opinion. And I think that's the thing why I think oil will be a nice trade. I don't know necessarily if oil will rally as much as more as the drillers and some of the service names I think are going to catch some bids here. And again, we'll talk about all the trades that we like here. But again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Use the Calendly link. Let's chat 30 minutes. Let me know how I can help you. Also, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on X, posting trades, ideas, and thoughts. Also on YouTube. Again, boom, 52 educational videos. And if you'd like to hit the thanks button, donate, link description below. I appreciate all the love, support, and generous donations. You guys are amazing. Again, if you had a great week, leave a comment below, depending on the platform. I'm just curious what you did, because again, if you traded some of the tech names in and out, you traded some of the oil service names like Oxy at the lows, you traded some of the material names. Great week, guys. Great week. So again, also follow or check out the website tradingagent.com. A lot of great resources, insights, and boom, recommended reading. So let's get into it. Again, we know coming up in 2 weeks, there's nothing coming, but here's the thing. You're going to start hearing stupid rumors about a rate cut in March. It's not happening. It's just not going to happen. End of story. Doesn't matter unless the market absolutely gets shredded, which again, I think at this point, it's really hard for them to pull the market down. So just be prepared for rate cuts, rate cuts, rate cuts. And it's probably not going to happen. And again, if the odds are over 60%, it's not going to happen. Again, the Feds are not in the job of confusing the market and doing things out off the cuff. They've never done that. They're really almost predictable, and that's how they like to be. Bitcoin, again, I'm sorry for Bitcoin bulls, because again, they were all expecting some sort of big Bitcoin strategic reserve. It looks like Trump is just going to confiscate all of the Bitcoin, anything that's been confiscated by the U.S. government, they're going to use that as the reserve. It doesn't look like they're going to go out there and buy anything on the open market. I know that's probably disappointing, bulls, and that's why we said watch the 93,000 level, and looks what seems to not be able to get over it until, again, can't be bullish till it gets over it. I'm sorry, because again, this could just be building to go lower. I wouldn't be surprised if the headlines are what they are. We're getting to the 70,000 level plus. And again, they're also not going to give them tax exempt status too. Is another one that I think that everyone was expecting. Sorry, guys, gals who are involved in that stuff. Again, I mean, it's like, where's the Epstein list? What's all? I mean, like, we get all this stuff. It's like they say a lot of things don't happen. Oil, as we talked about, this level has been monumental for what almost seems like a decade. Since 2015, this level has acted as support and resistance in the mid 60s. We are at support right now. Keep an eye on it. Natural gas holding up really damn well. I hope it pulls back at some point, because I would like to jump on that train. Dollars, we've talked about when it blew out of the channel lows, weakness in the dollar again, not really trading the dollar, but watching for dollar volatility. Dollar coming in, I believe it helps give strength to commodities. and certain names, especially names that are favorable to lower dollar. TLT, we talked about this thing being stuck until the jobs number. Again, if you played the pullback, not even pullback, you just took profits, congrats. Now we're at the 20-day, 100-day. Next week, you got CPI and PPI data. I don't know if the bonds really move until then. I mean, they could be stuck, and this is why you have to manage positions. The more you're up, the less you own. Trade around your positions, hedge. Again, imagine if you sold calls against the TLT. Say you sold out of the money. You're collecting that premium. What if you collected $1 or $2 to basically cover the drop? Yum, yum, yum. VIX, yummy dummy. Again, we know there's tariff rumors, all this stuff. I mean, it clearly Trump watches the market. If you guys remember from his last administration, if the market starts peeling back, he typically gets a little, he starts walking back some of his threats. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, we're up at what near term seems like probably the max upside. Again, I think ultimately the market will go lower in time if they do dramatic cuts, right? Job losses will expand. I mean, it's no doubt you're going to get a recession. Look at Argentina. Their GDP went to like negative 5.8%. If we get negative GDP, you're going to see the VIX spike at some point. VIX, yeah, keep an eye on this, holding up pretty well. SPY, my guy. We've talked about this, like chopping around, playing games with the 200-day. Look at the close, y'all. Again, technically oversold near term. Watch it holding into this blue zone. Look at that wick, man. That's some mean shit. That's where it's hard at highs and lows. All right, you get some long wicks. QQQ talked about this earlier in the week that this has a tendency to go below the 200-day and trap. All right, there we go. Boom. Hits the primary trend line. When you zoom out, hits it, bounces to a T. And again, you go from 540 down to 480. I mean, again, you should expect some bounce. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a monster bounce, but what do we talk about when the market starts pulling back, or any damn stock? The 20-day moving average becomes the first area which we find resistance on a bounce. This thing is going to be coming in hot and down at some point, so I wouldn't be surprised if you get the bounce back up to the 100-day. Keep an eye on it. Again, a lot of people I think are going to sit here and go, well, I need to do this and I need to overtrade that. No, I think you should be watching for next week or the following week, QQQ, 20-day, 100-day box. Just, again, draw it. Keep an eye on it. Let me know how I can help. IWM, another one. It's in the oversold condition. Don't be surprised if it gets a little bounce and chop. And this thing has been lagging, and this is important to recognize because, again, this looks like a big head and shoulders top complex. I think we're going lower in time. It doesn't mean it's going to go in a straight damn line. Does this make sense? I love saying this over and over, but people just don't listen. DIA has been holding up pretty well. I'm not really too concerned about that. I don't even know why I'm really talking about it. Whatever. Gold. We've talked about the dollar weakening. Here we are up against the two times range on the month. A lot of people are like, what are you talking about? Dude, I've been trading gold for forever. I said this day was coming. Here it is. Talked about the monster cup and handle. Now, if we're up here and we consolidate and maybe Trump gets some sort of ceasefire and gold chops around, perfect. Because what I want to see is then silver start catching the baton. And we've talked about it. It's this mid 29 level has to go, right? Keep an eye on it. Because if it does, I mean, you do the math on this. I mean, if you add, $7-8 to the bottom here, I mean, it takes you up to mid 30s. You could probably draw here. You can kind of project it out like a trend line, right? There you go. That would be to somewhere the first support. Make sense? Make sense? Make dollars make sense? Come on, give me that. Sorry. All right. Make sense? There it is. Dollar bill, y'all. Keep an eye on it. Miners, we talked about them. They could start catching a bid if money comes out of tech. They're kind of basing here. I don't really have again, I wouldn't be shorting them. And if you're long them, just roll up your stops. I mean, if they break over levels, they could start catching bids. AEM, right? We talked about this one, right? Holding up really well. I mean, this has been with the boss. AG has been a laggard. Chopping, though, I mean, it looks like you'd have some risk reward here, right? Newmont, this one gets a little interesting, right? Pulls back. I mean, if you zoom out, I mean, you would think, like, I think it was at 58 6 months ago. Massive smash and massive consolidation. Massive consolidation party. So, I mean, I think you could probably play that trade at some point. Pass, right? Pass on the grass. Chopping at the highs. Keep an eye on it. Okay, it's tech. This is where it probably should get some bounces, but I don't trust them. Longer term, they look a little more broke, right? Taiwan Semi gets that big contract. Doesn't seem to bounce. Okay, 20-day, here's an example. Your first bounce is the 20-day and it fails. Look at this. There's a classic example. I'll probably point out a ton of these if I'm reminded. How high? Good question. Again, this is where it's hard. You get these counter trend rallies, and you can get like these long wicks, and you say, oh, the 20-day, and it breaks over, then gives it back. Micron, this has been just big trading range. You can play the bounce if you want. 200-day seems to be resistance. AMD, talk about this. I think it goes lower in time, but it's oversold as shiznit. But it seems to me, again, as the market continues to rally, I mean, this thing has been lagging for almost a freaking year. To the day, actually. Wow. March 7th of 2020. This has been one of the worst performers. And all I can see is bullishness on the horizon from every person who owns it. How high are you guys? And I'm not trying to be mean, but damn, this thing has been just a straight beast. 1 year, perfection. 1 date, 1 year from the date. It peaked, and now we're at the lows. Again, I wouldn't go out there shorting it, but man, I don't trust these things long term. NVIDIA, again, my short of 2025. I'm not saying that it's going to be a straight line move down, but looks like the top is in. But trade the volatility. I mean, this thing has daily options. This thing's nuts. If you want to play the up from here, I would feel way more comfortable about channel low in the 0.618 there. Man, it's not really showing as well, but that's what I'd be watching. Feel more comfortable. SMCI, again, you got to be creative. This stock is nuts. One day they're going to get delisted. Next day they're trying to figure it out. I would leave it alone. Intellectual property, again, if they get bought out, it's a fucking charity game. They don't really have any IP. It's just getting good graces with the U.S. government. AVGO, we talked about this bouncing on earnings. That's solid bounce there. Now again, maybe it's the 20-day. Maybe not. I don't know. This one's been tricky, but I would definitely keep an eye on. You can see the bottom of this gap. Big volume. Trend line. I don't know. Something like that. Keep an eye on it. SMH, again, due to bounce. Gets smoked down. Probably due to bounce. I don't know. Somewhere the 20-day. Maybe the 238s. Keep an eye on it. Adobe. This one's been holding up pretty well. They have earnings next week, so maybe that's why it's the short squeezer. I mean, this thing got cooked on earnings last time. Get out the way. Apple, again, this is where Apple was holding up all day today. I was like, this can't be. Market ain't going to fail if Apple's holding up. Chopping around again. If you see Apple in the 240s, yeah. Apple in the 240s. Sorry, high 240s. I'd say 248. Just set the alarm. I'm taking notes. Amazon. This one's been, pulling back due to bounce. Look at that big ass damn doji at the 200-day. I would be watching. This is where it gets, man, this is fun to draw with you guys on a live. I'd be watching up here. That's where I'd be calling for that bounce. Remove this blue box. It's not as important as it looks. In my opinion, I think this would be the more important area. Hope that helps. Cool. Meta. Look at this thing. Gets down to 600. Booyah. And then Doji's back. This is where it's so tricky. Everyone's going, bears, puts. Whee! Rip your face off. Rip right back up. Keep an eye on it. Again, these things are due to bounce. CRM, this is another one that's not as strong. But damn, look at these long wicks and Dojis. Keep an eye on it. Guggenheim has been strong. Right? I'd be watching this 185 plus. I mean, here you go. Nice trades if you want to play the counter, in my opinion. Microsoft typically does better with the dollar weakening. Look what it's doing. It didn't make new lows today. I'd keep an eye on that one for a bounce. NDAQ, they're actually offering 24-hour trading. The stock is getting crushed. Nobody wants that shit. I'm telling you, this is not the future exchange of the massive amounts of stock that will be traded. It's going to be in materials and your basic. It's not going to be tech. Look at that. Great short. Congrats. 86 down to 74. Booyakasha. MicroStrategy, again, holding the 200-day. This thing is a big consolidation pattern. Just be safe with it. Again, trade the ranges, trade around your positions, because look what it does. I mean, this feels like the same thing here. Here you go. Comes up, pulls back. We'll make another high. That high will probably be, what? Right around the 330s. You're welcome. Just keep an eye on it. Netflix, this thing got bombed on yesterday. Said top is in. This big dump, but now again, you fill the gap. Don't be surprised if it chops around. Roblox, this one's another one that looks interesting. Like, just look at these big ass wide wicks. Van W, again, we like cybersecurity names, right? At the 200X said, watch that. Put that one on your list. Probably bounces from the 200-day. Looks way stronger than some names. Tesla, look at this. Got stopped out of this one and trade around. This one was a fun trading one. But I'm like, man, this blue zone, no way. We fill the gap. Look at that. This thing pulls back 40-something, 8% off the highs in a straight line in 3 months. It's due to bounce. Just keep an eye on it. Now, if it doesn't, this is where you have to have risk reward. You tighten up them stops and you say, it works, it works. It doesn't, you get out. Insight, talked about this one's going to get bought out at some point. Chopping around. Your best friend, Hims, talked about folks waiting for these low mid-30s. You're freaking welcome. God, if you would have sold at 73 and bought back at 34 2 weeks later, 3 weeks, man, what a fucking gift. Palantir, again, we talked about this level holding again. That's an easy trade. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I don't really trust it, but look at that. Is that a double top? We'll see again. I don't trust Chinese stocks. I mean, that's been a big move. Again, I think money's going to flow back in the United States in time. Coin, we talked about this one holding the channel lows, right? This is the primary trend line. Sorry, primary trend. Here you go. Due to bounce. Keep an eye on it. McDonald's, look at this. Breaks out. Things you don't see if the market's about to get crushed. Look at Mickey D's. Da-da-da-da-da. They're breaking out. There you go. See, things you just wouldn't see. DKNG. Again, I think these things are due to bounce. They've been smoked down. Again, I think gambling stocks, I would not be betting on them going into recession. Airbnb, I mean, nice pullback. Costco, we said this felt like the blow off top. Here's my arrow. I drew this weeks ago. There you go. You're welcome. Now how low? I mean, I don't know. It's been on a monster tear. Just let it play out. I mean, you can trade around it, but man, leave it alone. Starbucks, this one annoys me because wanted to short up there and only had one damn day. I hope it bounces because I think they're going to get smoked in time. Again, they're cutting their workforce. Their coffee sucks. Their food's crap. It's competition everywhere. I don't care if they took Chipotle's CEO. FedEx, we talked about. You could play the bounce. Like, look at that. Like FedEx today, not making new lows, right? Caterpillar, right? These stocks weren't making new lows. I'm telling you, money's rotating in materials and all the shit that got hit because of tariffs, right? Look at Deere rallying right back. New course said you could probably trade this area. Look at it. Okay, they're not making new lows. X, this is a little different. Buyout target. I don't know. I don't trust it. I mean, it's got a premium. VALE, here we go. We talked about them starting to rally back. You see this dollar weakness. What's been rallying, right? Arrow said, watch the 11s. You're welcome. Sorry, what am I doing? I just wrote something down real quick. It didn't transfer. Arrow. Talked about the alarm off. Alarm went off. Whee! Nice little bounce. Look at the volume. Look at the action down here potentially. It's setting up. CCJ, we said watch the 40 area. I mean, I would prefer to buy it lower, but it looks like a tradable spot, right? Not making new lows. Notice the commodity names not making new lows the last couple of days while tech was, right? I like a CF. I like it a CF. I like Mosaic a lot. A lot. Look at this one, guys. Y'all see this. Look at this. We identified the bottom of the volume. You could have bought this in the 22, 23. It's already pulled up 2-3 points. Again, with the stock that much, 2 points, almost 10%. Congratulations. Let me tell you something. Bar Marshall Bill, NTR. Again, another one bouncing. Look at these names. AA Aeron. Again, how do you not like aluminum? Aluminum foil goes into everything. No, aluminum's great, man. Light, brittle, easy to use. Yeah, keep an eye on it. XLF. Now, here we go. This is what we talk about. Financials suck. They're toast. Okay, but they're due to bounce. People got a lot of flack for JP Morgan. Like, oh, you got June puts. You're getting crushed. Fudge you. Look at this. Told you. Jamie Dimon sold what? How many hundreds of millions of dollars worth of it? They weren't buying back stock. I was like, it's just a matter of time. Kapow. Now, near term, probably going to bounce. Keep an eye on it. Morgan Stanley. Right? Man, these things have been throttled near term. Don't be surprised they get a little bounce. Chop week. Let them consolidate for a couple. I mean, if you ever see a downtrend, this happens. I mean, I don't even need to. You get a couple weeks. I mean, think about it. Can you have a week or two of candles that are, counter trend? Abso-freaking-lutely. Goldman Snacks. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't hold the 200-day, fill the gap here. I don't know. Maybe these names hold up the next couple of days. Maybe they don't. And again, I truly said financials are going to own the brunt of the bear of all this crap. Higher unemployment is not going to be good for these guys. Carry, we talked about this has been lagging 200-day. XBI said, hey, this is probably due to bounce. All right, we'll see. Junior bios, right? They like lower rates. Keep an eye on it. Jets, Benny and the Jets. Look at that wick today. Again, I mean, we talk about chop top. Keep an eye on it. Housing. Said this one looked like it was due to bounce. A little bear trap. Look at this. For last 4 days, housing bouncing. Right? Market breaking, but housing bouncing. Get it. Exactly. Things that have been oversold. Solar bouncing. It's Pat. ENPH. First solar, we said, I like this one at the zone. Congratulations. I mean, again, leave a comment below if you're smashing some of these. If you're watching the videos, you're getting the value out of it. I just sometimes amazed that people are like comment in the Discord or comment like, did you see this? And I'm like, did you watch the fucking disc? Did you watch the video? That's what all I talked about. And they're like, oh. It's like, this is why I do this stuff. Keep you guys in HYG. I don't want anything to do with it. USO, due to bounce. Again, we talked about I hate UNG. I think the KOLD is the short on bounces. But UNG is holding up. Again, I'm not going to say go short that thing, but I just don't. These decaying products just, I don't know. They're not that great in my opinion. Certain ones are better. XOP, we talked about playing the bounce. Look at this the last couple days. Volume and action at the lows. Looks like a tradable spot. Tradable mean trading. If you bought the gush in the 21s, you feeling good, feeling great. Yeah, right? Exactly. Hold on, where's my, oh, it's the gush. Keep an eye on it, right? Your good friend CVE, we talked about these names look due to bounce. Right? Is the market's making new lows? What's not? These guys. Valero, right? We talked about the gasoline names holding up pretty well. Chopping in between ranges. MPC, chopping around. Chop around. Right? ExxonMobil. Look at this last couple days. This thing has been up. It's from 104 to 110. 6% up. BP, we talked about you could buy this nugget. Right? Look at that. Boom. Up. Nice work. Occidental. Another one. We said buy this in the 44s. Hot diggity damn. Look at the professional gap today. Closed at the high. Holla. EQT. Again, this one's been holding up pretty damn well at the 100-day when you zoom out. Like you're like, this is just a big consolidation pattern. And if natural gas starts ripping, probably going to start ripping too. Last but not least, Flex LNG. Again, I think we'll natural gas exporters with a 11% dividend. Pretty damn solid. So again, if you have any questions going into the weekend, don't hesitate to reach out. I repeat, again, next week's probably going to be quiet. You have the CPI and the PPI, and it's going to come in. The projection is for it to come down. How will the market react? We'll see. Remember, the following week is, to me, the biggest week of the month. It's the triple witching OPEX, and last but not least, it's a Fed meeting on the 19th. So why would the market go anywhere but consolidate to potentially up, in my opinion, until those mofos speak? You need to hear Powell speak. I think he's going to have nothing to say. But again, are you going to be surprised when they start pumping the market and they start saying, ooh, you hear the headlines, guess what? Maybe they're going to do an emergency rate cut. Ain't going to happen. But that's how the market makers get the market up near term to crush all these puts. Any questions, thoughts, concerns? Click the Calendly link. Let's hang out. Let's chat. Love to help you out. If you're new to trading, I'm telling you, there's a lot to learn. Also, too, if you're looking to buy or sell in real estate and you need my help, 2 agents for the price of 1. You know the deal. I will help you find a great agent anywhere in the country, and you get my advice along the way. We'll help out. So holler if you need me. Have a great evening. Great weekend. Talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.